Resurrections abound. Who can be found tonight on OrcSlayers?
Last session, we completed the dungeon that was in an island within an island behind a door that is not a door.
Heck yeah!
And we defeated a 6-armed snake lady. 6 arms?
Yeah.
Marilith. We killed Marilith, that poor old snake woman.
Oh, yeah, poor old
Who knows how old she was.
And
We found the Globe of Arden at the bottom of the dungeon. The Globe of Arden was not directly immediately trapped, which is great, except it did blind my character, so I take it back. It was trapped.
It's not trapped. You just had that much magic.
Take it back.
We were exiting the dungeon when we found Robbie's new character, the Barbarian, who was battling ooze and losing horribly, and we saved his life.
Couldn't hurt it. My
He
slashes.
is looking for his other character who died, the Marilith.
Yep.
And he's gonna turn that character in for money because that character is wanted. He stole stuff. So we left the dungeon. We used Umar's ring. Umar came and picked us up on a giant tornado thing. Basically a giant wind tornado that carried us very quickly across the ocean, so we didn't have to row back. We saved the people we rode in with. We brought them with us.
Yep, you managed to save all of the sailor man.
Okay, we saved the sailor mans. We get back to town. I believe it was on the way I got a vision from Glasschaunter.
Yep.
And he was like, hey, come into the desert and follow this path up a mountain. Or just in the desert?
It's just into the desert.
In the desert.
Yeah.
So I think we rested in town, I can't remember. And then the next day we traveled out into the desert, Contra leading the way with his vision. Eventually, we did get a random encounter with a horrible sand beast that was basically a bunch of worms coming out of the desert. And Zach rode his mount into it. And then when we killed it, he fought his way out from the dead body. It's awesome.
I defeated the beast from within!
And I think that's where we are.
And before all that, before they went off into the desert, my barbarian character took my cleric's hammer and jumped in because that's all he needed. So he went away before the desert.
Hey, great addition.
I am Hollis Lorenzen, your dungeon master, your second best friend, and your funky archmage boy.
Had to add the boy in there.
You had to add the boy in. It's
part of the title.
It's part of the title. Yeah.
Because he's a boy.
Mm-hmm. You don't become an archmage man until your beard is at least 3 feet long.
There you go. Now you kids know.
Yeah.
Requisite to proceed class.
But yeah, you guys are deep in the Callum Desert. And yeah, you just fought a horrid tentacly mouth monster thing. And yeah.
Oh no, not a creature with a mouth.
It's the worst kind.
Did we loot it?
I fling the gunk off of my sword and I'm just because I climbed out of it, if you recall.
Yes, right.
I think I actually
came out of it.
remembered that. I must not have fallen asleep.
You didn't fall asleep yet? It was too you had a dream about it. Just
We
I'll
compare
use Crest
oddly
to,
You had no loot.
to clean.
Sorry.
No.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, man.
We compared.
I shine once more.
So clean.
So clean and fancy.
But yeah, you can continue heading deep into the desert to seek out the place that Glasschaunter has told you.
Perfect.
This desert is pretty desolate. Other than that monster, you haven't seen anything living. It's like sandy, rocky. There's a taste of salt in the air. You're not sure why, but this desert seems to be just completely bereft of life. It almost seems like it's the result of a disaster.
Is there ruined huts around? Is it
Does anybody
void?
have history?
I have bardic knowledge.
Oh, bardic knowledge is always the best.
I got a 15.
And then start talking
Yeah.
about Star Wars.
13.
we talked about
15?
Star Wars looking at.
Okay, well,
Take
those will get
wins.
you about the same amount of knowledge. The Callum Desert history is a bit vague on what exactly happened here. Basically, the Kalishites originally formed their society using the power of genies. And they would enslave genies and make them build their cities and do all sorts of stuff. And when two
Sounds like that
powerful
backfired.
genie forces came against each other, there had like an apocalyptic, like massive battle. And this area that you're in now is basically the fallout of that. And technically, the genies are still imprisoned somewhere in this region. And they will occasionally stir, and like crazy forces will like come up. So this is not a very nice place. Nothing lives here by choice, mostly. Unless it's really strong, really stupid, stuff like that. But yeah.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Sounds like those
Sounds
people
cool.
didn't get their wish.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying.
Because the genies.
Yeah,
Because
backfired
get
on
it,
them.
because genies.
Yeah.
But
Can a genie wish for something from another genie? Just wondering.
Philosophers have asked this question.
That's
Go
like
find the genies and ask them.
That's like the question: who delivers the mailman's mail? Does he deliver his own mail, or is there another mailman delivering his mail? And who delivers his?
I think that depends on where he lives.
does it? Does it?
Wait, where are
Unless
we
he
going?
lives on the unless he lives in the plane of fire.
Then
What?
That's a lot of bird.
Then he
mail.
doesn't have to stay birds away.
I'm
saying.
sorry
Like,
if
that's-
I
that's a
led to
natural
this.
conclusion.
Horrible, not funny joke.
Nail.
Look what you have.
What were we doing?
All right, but yeah, no, you were just like kind of like, oh yeah, this is this way because of this. But yeah.
Hollis, Contra frees the genies.
Okay,
Let's
that
not
would be
Let's
like.
not.
the
Can we
whole
not talk
quest
about the
to
genies
even
and
try
resurrect some people
to
called
do-
your son?
Oh yeah,
Hey, Mr. Not Appearing in this film?
Yeah, sure, dead person.
you're dead, huh?
There's some sort of angry voice.
Is the storm rolling over?
Don't look into the genius and,
like go raise your son or something.
Is that Cliff Parker?
I thought we canonized that. I'm just up in the clouds giving him a thumbs up.
Don't look up.
Should we roll initiative?
No.
All
right.
I can't do
But yeah,
damage. I'm just water.
Anybody got survival?
Well, of course I don't.
No.
I'm trained in it, but I've not put any.
But I can pretend.
I have bardic knowledge.
I have a +7 just because my wisdom is so high.
That's a good one.
So
Yes.
Hey,
My dragon.
Haven't you already been here
Are you
before?
a dragoning man?
My
for
my
the
dragon
visions?
Oh, yeah.
also has survival.
Nice.
So if in Callaghan my gold dragon steed, can he roll that as well? Is he smart enough?
Yeah, no, he's fully intelligent.
does
Very
my vision that I previously had give me any bonuses?
Yeah, I would say, how about you roll?
Okay.
He can roll to assist.
I'll
and,
assist.
You'll get a +3 from your vision of where you need to go.
Great. Did you assist successfully?
Yes, sir.
So that's a total of +5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
then,
Callaghan's just like
So I rolled really well as well. So I got a
Survival.
27. So with all those bonuses, 27.
Wow. Yes.
Wow,
Awesome. Yeah. What you feel that you're being guided deep into the desert to a place like when you were saying like, are there any huts, things like that? This area has been like destroyed for so long that only the like sturdiest of structures would remain standing. But in your vision, you did see some. So yeah, you know which way to go. It's like north, and then at this pointy rock, you got to take a right and go to the east.
Yeah, I pick
So
up
you guys
like
start
a
going.
walking staff and I take steps and I stand at the precipice of rocks and look out into the desert.
Very nice.
I kick his staff.
All right, somebody roll percentile dice.
I hit him with it.
Can I do
Oh
it?
no, they're fighting!
I got it.
No, I don't hit him with the staff.
Oh yeah, let's go with a 94.
94. All right.
How can we fight Kaiser now?
Never will. All right,
Someone decided to let
the
Robbie
sun
percentile.
blasts the party
I got a
very,
94.
very bad.
Hey now.
Mario
Um,
style?
After about 8 hours of travel into the desert, everyone is affected by exhaustion.
No.
Boo! Bad DM.
No, dude.
Was it because I rolled
Shut
a
up.
94?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hurting.
Wait, how did you roll?
No one else did it, so I
You're
did.
not in the party though.
I'm still here.
Wait, what? He just rolled a percentile check and he's
So
dead?
Hollis,
Yeah.
No one else is doing
Hollis
it.
still the first day.
You were all
talking.
Yeah, and I said, I got it, and rolled a
I think
94.
at the beginning of last
I thought he was
session,
attacking
Yeah,
with
I
the
did,
percentile. That's what I
prepare,
thought was
like, a full
happening.
list of,
I was like not paying attention to
Ginger
that.
element.
Oh my god.
Did you?
That's the only one I'm gonna do, so I'll.
You are dead.
Oh.
You are
No,
not
no.
playing right now.
Is it
Seriously.
Jenny's thing that gives us Cinder elements?
Oh yeah, that's true.
I just remember having a conversation about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
right. Her invocation affects you as endure elements, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Does that
you're
help?
not exhausted.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yay!
all just kindness.
You can
Screw you, Robbie. You dead.
It's one of those things where you're not necessarily affected by it, but
Yeah.
you can tell that like this magic is the only thing that's keeping you guys from just being completely parched, and you're
Yeah.
still sweating. It's hot and
Right.
dry.
You're welcome, everybody.
Would you think it?
Thank you,
Friedrich
Zalia.
is still screwing us from the grave.
Yeah!
What's up, Sam?
with in Caligan, can I fly up like
Mhm.
50 feet into the air just so that
Yes.
I can like spot anything that might be coming at us?
Yes.
And just kind of, I'll just like,
Go ahead and make a spot.
Hollis, if I find anything, can I have some control? So I don't do nothing.
If you want what? Oh, if you find anything? Yeah.
Cool.
and Caligan's got a 15, and I
With a dead character.
also have a 15.
Okay. You can definitely see that rock salt spire ahead in the distance that I had said was the landmark on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, there doesn't seem to be any moving creatures on the surface of this the desert right now.
Mm-hmm. I'll call down to the party and alert them that there does not seem to be any foes or any friends present, but we should press on.
Okay. You do know you're going to have to make camp, and it will be another day's travel into the desert.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, nothing really of note happens. You
Can I
fought
use
a
that?
thing, you've been affected by bad weather.
Can I use that survival roll for like where to make camp?
Yeah.
Essentially?
Like
Yeah.
a safe
Okay.
place.
Yeah.
You think that near the base of that pillar would probably be best because if a windstorm moves up or anything, you want any sort of shelter that you could probably try to use.
Okay, we head there.
All right. Let's make one more check for night.
Percentile, stop.
Anybody can roll it. Whoever
I'll
does
do
it
it.
first.
I say let him roll it. I want to fight stuff.
I got a 9. Beautiful.
9.
Nice.
9 or
Nine.
9? Okay.
What'd you get,
These are
Robbie?
very-
Double zero and a 9.
All right. That's actually exactly what I rolled.
Oh.
So
Wow.
pretty cool.
Does that mean we get?
Huh?
Does that mean we're lucky?
We free the
You
genies?
guys are lucky.
The genie?
Genie
Genie
do
attack?
not free
We
the
each get a
genies.
genie lamp.
but-
Which one is the real one?
Hold on. I gotta-
Really wired tonight.
I mean, it's still daytime.
What are you doing, Lou?
We're awake.
Knowing my genie lamp.
Yeah.
Speak to me.
Oh man.
The genie pops out of the lamp with another lamp, rubs it, and goes, "I wish he was never real." And then I poof, and then he dies, and then the genie's chilling.
What the heck?
Oh, that'd be
Okay,
amazing.
there you are. Yeah. As you guys are setting up camp, a small caravan approaches. Guy that is like kind of a scout ahead of them comes up to you and is like, "Hail, well met.
Why, hello there, person.
Are you guys camping here this evening?"
Yeah, that's what we were thinking about doing.
You don't think he's amphibious?
Cool.
He looks.
See
Hard to
what we're
let me
on?
see if I can get a
I'm just
description.
asking because if so, the
What he
sword's
looks
gonna
like
want to
here.
kill him.
Can't we just
Does
have a
your
normal
sword give
conversation?
He is amphibious.
But I want to know.
Doesn't the sword tell him the things are where things amphibious things are.
It will likely tell him if the thing is
If
amphibious.
he's
said,
a
like,
man.
sure.
He said the sword would tell you.
He's
Just make
wearing,
sure we're on the same page.
like, he looks pretty human-y. He looks like a powerfully built human. Pretty tall, a little over 6 feet. He has, like, a full turban and, like, a thing across his face to keep the sand off of him. And he has dark amber eyes. He says, if it is all right with you, can we make camp together tonight?
Yeah. Strength in numbers.
I
mean-
would like to roll sense motive
Okay.
because I am.
I guess
super
I'm
at that.
too much of a goody two shoes. I just trust him.
A little bit too welcoming to strangers.
Contra got a 23.
Okay. Is anyone detecting magic?
I was gonna detect evil.
You can detect evil on him if you want.
I will.
23 on sense motive. His motives seem to be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Innocuous, like harmless. Like, he doesn't seem to be. He's not hiding anything. Bottom line.
How many people is he with? How big is his caravan?
Do you just ask him that, or do you look?
Kind of just look.
You can see that there's like camels and like some people walking on foot. Look like they probably have about 20 people in their party overall.
Can I just continue small talking with the guy? Like, just, what you guys doing? And you guys trying to get through the desert? And...
He says that his people are making a pilgrimage through the desert, as there's holy sites to them in here. They do not normally live in this desert. They hail from far, far to the south on another continent.
Oh, okay.
Not that I'm actually trying to do anything, but just in case something goes crazy, I want to just kind of sit off to the side and begin studying. Just in case.
Okay.
Just in case.
All right, that's
Never know
fair.
what's going to happen, so
That's
just
fair.
in case.
I'll be honest with him. I'll say we are journeying towards.
He's not evil. Did I say that?
I assumed you would have like told me.
I would have been like, he's evil.
Yeah.
He does not detect evil.
Yeah, I'll be honest with him. I'll say we are journeying towards it's a spire. Did you say?
You guys are at the spire.
We are at it?
This is
Okay.
like your like
Mhm.
big road map thing.
Okay.
Like you know that once you're here, you need to like readjust your trajectory and walk like another day practically.
Yeah, it's not our destination.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I'll inform him of our destination and just like where we are traveling.
So you tell him you're going to go see this dragon?
No.
I was thinking you
No,
would say
the
something
direction.
along the lines of, "We're following this old man into the desert who wants to resurrect his son."
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that's fine.
That sounds fine.
If you tell him that that's your quest, he says that that is a very noble endeavor. He doesn't know that you'll find any source of magic that would be suitable for doing such.
We regaled him with the tale of the globe of Arden and show it to him to blind him and then attack. No.
Like you just go all the way into it, just like first we found Umar, and then we went to the dungeon in the swamp, and then in the swamp.
I gotta know which things are serious and which aren't. What are you guys telling him? Just
The
you're going
first-
to look.
So I make a
crazy old man with
campfire.
the desert thing.
Mhm.
I make a campfire, and
Oh no!
and we're all sitting around the campfire.
All right, yeah. He
And I
brings his
just-
people in. They've got like camels. They set up tents and stuff.
I just go into it. I'm just
Okay.
telling this guy our adventures and our quest. I don't say anything about our ultimate goal, but I do tell him that I'm on a quest to get my long lost dragon brother from another mother, Kaiser Skystrider.
Okay.
Let's not tell him about the globe, though.
When
Okay.
you say the name of Umar,
Mhm.
you can tell that really pricks their attention up,
Cool.
and they're like, "You people personally know Umar?
Yes.
He's our buddy.
Wow.
At the saying of that, I wish to roll a hide check.
Okay. Roll it.
Does he know Umar?
They do not personally know Umar. They have heard tell of him through tribes in their homeland.
Like or dislike?
He is a great friend of their people. Does anybody have knowledge planes to roll? These people are kind of
I do.
taking off their like face things more. You can see them. Like I said, there's nothing that's overtly supernatural about them. You need to like know what they are to know what they are. You know?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So 20
20 on Bardic.
planes.
Knowledge planes, nice. Yeah. These people are a type of genie that is like kind of weird. They're lower powered than most of the other genies.
Amphibious.
That's right. They're very amphibious.
They're frogs.
So
like
the people
most
themselves are
genies are elementals. Like, and they're like a really powerful, refined form of that element. These are Janni, and Jans are equal parts of each element, and so they're more versatile. They can live in more places, but they don't have like the extreme powers of other genies. Yeah,
Interesting.
but yeah. So yeah, they do. They take your story and they like just drink it up, and they're like, "Wow, that's amazing." They tell you that they pilgrimage to one of the sites that is thought to be where the lost genie lord is in the desert, and they attempt to commit do rituals that they believe might lead to its release.
Cool.
Thus far, it has never worked, but it's something that every generation they do.
What's their goal with that? Like, are they trying to just free him, or are they trying to gain control over him?
They are obligated, and like this striated structure of genies hierarchy. At one time in the distant past, that genie was the lord of their people on a different plane. And so they just do this out of a sense of obligation and honor to try to free it.
Is it a good genie or?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They don't even remember.
Oh.
Could we possibly remember? Do they say his name?
I'd have to make up a name.
Oh no!
Henry.
It's not Henry. His name was not Henry the Wise.
I make it sound more like deserty, like Henry.
Let's see.
Greg.
His name was Greg the Mermaid.
Doug.
No, let's see. How about we use some dice to determine what kind of genie this was?
Hey, wait, what's this place called?
Where you are right now?
Is it Kalimshan?
That you're in Kalimshan in the Kalim Desert.
Name him Kalimdan.
That's too awesome to not do. All right. Yes, their genie lord Kalimdan from years of old. All right. So.
Oh no.
That was just like.
That's right. We're gonna say.
Legend tells this place is named after.
Sure. Yeah.
But then what's the other genie's name?
They don't speak yet.
Voldemort. Owe me a Coke.
All right. Let's see. So genie types are Jinn, Ifrit, Merid, and Dao. So I roll the 7. Then he's a Dao. Kalimdan, the Dao Lord of the Genie.
So, are those good?
Planes?
No, it's planes.
You should call him Genuine Dan. Officer Sheldon.
Hey, I got something good this time.
Awesome.
23.
Yeah, they're super evil. And they are slavers.
Okay.
Do you
Wait,
tell me
is that these people or the genie?
The Dao.
The guy that they're trying to release.
Kalimdan is a Dao?
Kalimdan, the evil Dao Genie Lord.
So
I think we got our next
him.
quest.
I'm
They
gonna
do
keep
say
that to
that,
myself.
Okay, it's a
Okay.
good idea because I
Yeah,
would kill him.
the legends say that his empire was great and massive, and he had more servants and slaves than any other. Dow Lord at one time.
Just because I want to see how realistic their journey of freeing this guy might be, do they have any like tactic or plan to do this that they think will work?
They show you they have like these scrolls. There's like things where if you are at a place, there you can attempt a ritual to release like bonds that would contain a genie. Like you could bust one out that's trapped in a ring or a lamp, those kind of things.
So just so
Or
we're clear,
not.
has this ever worked before?
Well, they wouldn't be doing it if it worked before. They've been doing it for hundreds of years.
And it's the same ritual that they've been doing for hundreds of years. They haven't changed anything up.
No.
So it's not very probable that they're gonna succeed.
Do you ask them that? Or are you just asking the dungeon master that?
I'll get into it. I'll say, is this like a suicide mission for your people?
They say that they are technically still like extended like members of his like state, so they are obligated to attempt to free him, and it is stated that he will grant wishes to those that release him, in which case they wishes are wishes, so there could be a perk to releasing him. There could also be bad stuff, but this is part of their culture.
Okay.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like the people in Dune where they like worship like sandworms and stuff. They can like eat them and things. It's like, all right.
That has its ups and downs.
I'm just a little concerned that the cultists might actually succeed.
Cultists?
They're basically worshipping an evil genie.
You're the only one that knows that.
They just feel obligated because he's their great uncle.
I'm just
Genie
saying, you mess with fire, sometimes you get burned.
You mess with sticks, sometimes you get dead.
You mess with stone,
Okay.
sometimes you get
Okay.
squished.
Oh,
But yeah,
man,
no,
man.
they're glad to tell you anything you want to know about their culture and whatnot.
More than I needed to know.
Okay. What do you think?
I think I'm going to take a nap.
I will say this: if just heads up,
I couldn't sleep for hours.
I
I
threw
need
this
help.
in here for funsies. It is not related to the current quest or any other I have planned. Just because you guys rolled a weird thing on the dice. What would be a fun thing to encounter in the desert of genies?
The quest to stop the return of Kalimdan sounds great.
Okay, that does sound kind of cool.
But it's not saving
Yeah,
Kaiser.
but I don't want to
so-
hurt any of these nice people, though. They're kind of fun.
So the thing is that we could succeed in the stopping of the return of Kalimdan
Like, I just
if
feel
we
like
just kill all of these guys.
I was
just-
thinking,
Good.
so
I feel
Contra,
like they just
Contra,
need some small sabotage.
Of course, it's possible that they will never succeed.
Yeah,
whatever
exactly. I
Guys.
just want to know that they won't succeed.
guys. So any conversation I would have to be meta because Contra probably wouldn't want to like take the time to stop these guys.
Right. I will say
So-
this: if you wanted, you could use spellcraft or knowledge arcana to analyze whether or not the rituals they have are effective.
Yeah.
I was also
Because
thinking
it might be that, or it might be that they're looking in an entirely
knowledge
wrong
arcana.
spot for this whatever vessel contains
Oh,
the
yeah.
genie's
So-
Lord.
I look for 6, and when I can't find him, because
'Cause
I
you
never, I can't find him,
I'm
I just
also-
go into the darkness. And
You just hear a light.
he's out there.
I heard the jingling
He's
of the
always out there.
bells.
The jingling of light.
watching.
Oh no!
What'd
But,
you roll on Arcana?
I haven't rolled it yet.
Roll it.
Nice.
Dude, maybe we
22
can
for
sell
knowledge
those.
arcana. That's pretty good.
Maybe we can sell those rituals. Says the paladin.
These rituals are not going to be effective.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
It probably couldn't even break a normal seal, much less whatever is containing like this super powerful genie lord man.
We should help them
We all
out.
could try and release him.
What if
And
they
get wishes.
accidentally do it though?
What if we told them? What if we told them that their
Let's
their
be
mission?
honest. Tell him.
I go to them
Mm-hmm.
So did they just have them laying out, or did Jimmy
Yeah, when
have
you
to-
asked like what they do, they were like, "Yeah, this is what we do," and it like shows like you have to have 20 people. They have to like hold hands in this shape. You have to like say these words, blah 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 blah.
Who did the check?
I did.
You did?
Oh, him for
Yeah.
Arcana? Yeah.
Yeah. My Arcanist specialist says that your spells will be ineffective in completing your quest.
Diplomacy.
I was just gonna let them quietly fail.
I say we should.
They seem to be nice.
Yeah.
Well, see,
but
Ginny,
still.
you're the
I
only
say
one
we
that knows
should
that it's
rewrite.
evil.
like what needs to be.
Yeah, they
fixed to make
actually
it
don't
work.
know what they're doing. And so this is probably the best way to go about it.
Wait, are you trying to help them?
I am. 21.
21. All right. He really like takes pause at that. And has to think about it for a while.
Can I take Silas off to the side and be like, "Yo, don't help them"?
But
It's evil.
he looks at you and he says, "At this point, the tradition is more important than any chance of success."
I kind of relate that to my situation going into this quest, to get Kaiser back. Whether we win or all die, I completely understand that motivation. And I tell him, I completely understand as a fellow traveler.
But he does ask that you maybe don't tell that to everybody because he doesn't want to like upset.
The secret is safe with me.
So are they like blissfully unaware that they're trying to release an evil genie? They just know it's their ancestor, basically.
They know that it's their lord of their ancestor.
Okay.
Like
The only
it's
person
just
that
it's like
knows-
this honor like system in their society. Like his alignment, whatnot, that doesn't really mean anything to them because he is a lord of them. Like that's just their relation. Like
Yeah.
if he was free, he should be their lord.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I think the only person that knows
Yeah.
that Genie is evil is Gaia.
I
She
mean,
probably would mention it to us.
I mean, she said she wasn't telling anybody.
technically, you weren't actually there.
I mean, I talked to you just
I'm
now.
just saying.
And you said you weren't
He's
gonna tell
out
anyone. So
But yeah, no, like if I see
One
Silas
thing.
attempting to help them,
Fallen from the
I'm definitely gonna take him aside and be like, "Fix me on it, okay."
What if we don't free him because he is totally evil, though?
Yeah.
Assassinating be his purpose. Killing innocence forever.
But yeah. So other than that, they welcome you to share all of their food and drink and whatnot that they have with them, and they just want to have some cool hangs for the night.
To questing.
Cool.
Requesting.
Hey!
Yeah.
I'll sleep for the first 4 hours and sit vigil for the last one.
Before we go to sleep, does anyone have any heal spells left over?
Oh yeah. What do you need?
15.
Anybody else need heals?
I do need.
I think I got all the way healed back up.
As far as I know, I still have all three of my healed up charges.
I probably need heals.
I need more spell faster.
How much did you need?
15.
Yeah, I cast one spell and healed you. At least that.
Do you tell the Janny this or me?
Oh no. So as I'm sitting there realizing that I have no spell fire power, I'm just gonna stand up from where I'm sitting and walk straight to Billy Bob. I don't know if any of the travelers are gonna freak out seeing me materialize. But anyway, I'm gonna walk up to Billy Bob and say, "Hey, so go behind a pillar. I need to,
Okay. Yeah.
and I don't want them to."
Hey Jake, do you have any more heals?
How much can you
I have a ton.
Total of 16.
How much
but
you need?
I'd like to do it over a gradual time, so it doesn't
16?
overcharge me.
No, wait. Yeah.
So over a 20-minute period, you cast and charge.
Also,
I heal you that.
if
A
you
little
have,
more, but
I've got some lay on hands I could drop on somebody.
I have 23 health points that need to be returned. I need 23 health points.
I heal Ellie back.
Cool.
Nice.
I'm getting spell slots from Billy Bat. What's up?
You said 16 total?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Over like a 20-30 minute
Yeah.
period.
I was just making sure I have enough spells and everything. But yeah, I can totally.
Sweat.
And then I get my PP back when I rest, right? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I would say
Power
Contra
points.
probably gets very little sleep
AKA.
during the night as he anticipates, like, within a day, he's going to bring his son back, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably doesn't join into, like, the drinking or anything.
Yeah.
Pretty antisocial, just kind of contemplating
Are you
and, like,
gonna be okay?
Okay.
We've
What?
killed him.
What happened?
he's
She
taking it
really
on his
can't-
journey.
She
Can't
said,
handle PP.
do I get my PP back?
Why do you want that back?
Why?
And then I think Charlie goes, PowerPoints.
No, exactly.
So I was like,
PowerPoints.
oh man. I was shocked at first and confused.
Usually you
and
don't
thought,
get that back.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
oh, my heart.
the night passes uneventfully.
It does completely?
Yep.
Do I notice anything?
Well,
Yeah, some of the Jenny get up in the night to pee.
I'm watching.
and you
I'm
can't
watching.
hardly
You watch them pee. They don't get any of it back.
What if you did?
They're just like, as we are comprised of all the elements, we are able to recycle our own urine.
Oh, so they get it back.
This is the secret of our tribe.
Through the sand.
Okay.
Oh, we're moving on now? All right, cool. All right,
ready.
in the morning, they're breaking camp, and they're getting everything loaded back up on the camels, and they're getting ready to head back south. They wish you well in your journey.
Tell them.
Well met.
See ya later.
So you all see Contra gets up and he's getting ready to go, and he looks really tired. Like he hasn't really slept much over the night. And he's like, this way.
All right. Sweet. So can we get one more survival check?
I summon Encalagon again for the day,
Nay or something.
and he will assist in doing a survival check.
Yes.
Just get that dirt and roll around in it or something. He's got a 21
Oh,
Nice.
to assist.
15 total.
okay. Yeah, I
Oh.
think that's good enough. All right. They came. The Janny originally came like pretty much dead north from the Spire. You guys are heading off, kind of northwesterly, easterly direction.
So we're basically going the opposite way of them, more or less.
Well, opposite way that they're going now. They're
Yeah.
going straight.
Back.
From what you can tell, they're heading straight to Kalenport. Yeah.
So does Contra know
Oh,
where we're
so
going?
not
Yes, Contra does know where you're going. You guys
That's
walk
what-
off into the desert more, and someone rolls percentile.
Not
I'll roll
Robbie.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, that one isn't a D10. What am I doing?
76.
Oh, I should have.
Oh yeah.
Sandworm time.
I was just trying to stop Robbie.
Actually, I rolled a 65.
Do we find
He's
Robbie
not
too?
allowed to roll.
Robbie,
He can
you're
roll,
not
but it doesn't
playing.
count.
You're dead.
Till you're alive, you can't.
Yeah. What do you?
Can't roll.
Why did
Go
you
home,
come
Robbie.
here? Why are you at this table?
I don't know.
Remember when you died?
You threw it on the other side.
That's right. I rolled a 75.
Oh, is that
What'd you
right?
get? 73?
76.
You guys said
Oh,
it's
no.
Look at that.
It's real bad.
Look at that.
That's not that bad.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
you rolled kind of high. And she rolled
You know
low.
what would be a terrible thing to have in Hall since you got unlucky?
What?
A Robbie 2 just shows up.
I will kill
That
it.
would be
I'll
worse
kill
than
it.
an encounter.
That would be
I'll kill it
so
immediately.
horrible.
I'll kill it
Yeah.
immediately.
Don't let that happen.
Ooh, it's like
Yeah.
Robbie's
Another
coming back.
Robbie comes.
No, no.
It's my
I
old man
immediately start
Scion.
shooting.
It's like in the Matrix when you just hear and he just falls out of the sky and like kind of like
And then I
goes
die from
into
the
ground,
impact.
bounce back out. Cartoon style.
Like from, did you ever play Morrowind? Where you walk out
The guy that's just falls out of the sky.
Yeah, and I just die there.
Yeah, you have a dead Robbie encounter.
We are not.
What happens for real?
Yeah. This is something I can feel the party with.
Spot check?
No, nothing seems to happen.
Okay.
Mm,
Sure.
Okay. Something negative does happen. The wind whips up enough that there's like sand all up in you guys' faces. It's gonna slow down your progress.
I slam down the front cover of my helmet. Just boom.
I have goggles of my new seeing, so I'm chill.
You're good with goggles. Yeah.
I have plenty of fabric. I'm just gonna wrap it
just
around
wrap
my
it up.
face.
What do you got?
All right.
Eyes?
I've been wearing sunglasses. Does that help?
He just goes.
Yes, you have to occasionally wipe the crust and the buildup off of them.
Can my mage hand blocks sand from coming in my eyes, but be like
No.
That would be funny.
transparent?
No, you are blinded. No, you're not blinded, but your line of sight is limited to like 50 feet. It's pretty rough. But yeah, you keep going. It takes you. Let's see, it was going to take you. All right. 6 hours of trudging through a relentless but mild sandstorm.
Can I get Encalagon to put up his wings to see if he can like keep it off of the party that's traveling behind him in a line?
That might help a little. Yeah, it's not as discomforting with that.
Cool.
You got a bit of a
You
windshield.
see Caligan kind of start floating a little bit.
Yeah, every once in a while it just kind of like catches a little air.
I'll ride on top of him to hold him down.
Nice.
This is a big weight.
It's a big boy.
That's a big paperweight.
It's me.
But yes, eventually, you kind of get out of this sandstorm. It just like kind of reveals off, and you see what appears to be the ruins of a city.
Does Contra pick up speed?
Is this from my vision?
This is from your vision.
Okay.
You think that the lair of the dragon is.
Sally forth.
All right.
I sally too.
Oh, I thought you were going to say backwards.
I sally in a backwards motion, going in the same direction.
Contra, have you told us about the vision, or are you just leading us?
Just let us here. Follow me.
Mysterious.
There's nothing more to tell you.
Well,
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, I've just had a
that's
vision of
Yeah.
like, I think the dragon's here. Follow me.
Do we know that it's a dragon?
My name is Contra.
Yeah, Glathtroncher. I looked him up. I found him on Facebook.
Wow.
He has lots of other dragon friends. I think he's legit. I mean,
He actually has a
Good to know.
Kickstarter.
he did it.
I think he's selling
has a
some
backup
used
running.
car parts for real cheap.
Do what?
I think he's selling used car parts for real cheap.
Is his
He
name
keeps
Contra?
calling me about my extended warranty.
So, what's his motivation behind this?
Well, we've already done this a couple times.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
He seems
Refresh.
as genuine as possible.
Right.
Okay.
So I think he was an agent of
Io.
Io.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Which
okay,
is the
okay,
good,
okay.
good point.
Io is the
Oh.
capital of the neutral camp boy.
He
So
is the god of draconity.
Yeah.
And like Tiamat Bahamut, that's beneath him. He doesn't care about good or evil, only that dragons prosper.
That dragons prosper and that they stay in balance
Yes.
between good and evil.
No,
Right,
he wants to
right.
maintain a balance between the forces of Bahamut and Tiamat.
Sometimes I just need to like have a refresher.
Yeah, no.
Mhm.
I'm getting
Bahamut's the
old,
best.
you know. my
Bahamut's a
memory's
good
not
one.
so
Well,
good.
we've only
Tiamat's
played
the-
like
Tiamat's the best.
20
Friedrich
sessions.
never knew
or-
this.
This will be
It's like
the
he never
15th
will.
session.
Well, no, when he
That's a
shows
lot
up.
of weeks.
All right, but yeah, as you enter like into the city proper, you hear like this rumbling voice and it says, "Come forth, deeper into the city."
Do we all hear this?
Yeah, everyone hears this in their mind.
Well, that
This
wasn't
is
creepy at all.
like very similar to Zilkroth's mental, like talky stuff he does.
Is this the same feeling I get from when I was contacted from Glathtron
Yes.
before? Okay. Yeah, I believe this is Glathtron.
It freaks me out. I hide and move silently.
That's fine, but I do
That's
tell you that this is
That's
probably
fine.
Glathtron.
It still scares me.
Yeah, good luck with that. He can like go
That's
in your
not a high
mind.
hide check. Cool. Well, I mean, it's still a good hide check. I got a dirty 20. Hey, do I have covering from
Does
the
the
wind
dragon god
from
see?
the sand?
A little bit.
And then move silently.
Yeah,
That's
This kid.
No,
Who
right?
invited this kid?
Dirty 20.
myself. 24.
All right. You specifically hear in your mind, be not afraid, elf. I will not strike you down. Be you abomination.
Ooh, he called you out. Snap.
He called you an otherwise.
But yeah, you guys keep going, and
Must use
yeah,
abomination.
you can tell that like this. It seems like the city. There's like massive erosion on all the structures. Obviously, as the sands shift, this either is or isn't covered by the desert alternately, probably over the course of years.
Wow.
Heading deep into the city, there's one structure that really stands out. It's like a ziggurat kind of thing in the center. And at the top of it, there's like kind of a purple-ish crystalline stone. The voice beckons you to come into the ziggurat.
Ooh, pretty.
Cool.
Leaving back the friend.
Right behind you, Contra.
Put a hand on your shoulder and it's like, thank you for being here with me. And then I step inside.
You died? No.
Blood!
The whole time, said by me.
Your heart stopped. Your heart stopped.
Just like
because of
climb
old
over
age.
this table
yeah.
and start strangling you.
Alright, no. As you go into the ziggurat, you see that like the interior is almost completely hollow. And the crystal at the top appears to be designed to catch the rays of the sun and like cast it down to like illuminate the interior.
That's cool.
Its purplish light only seems to accentuate the majesty that is the large amethyst dragon. I'm sorry, did I say large? Let me look at his actual size.
Gigantic.
Gargantuan.
Yes, gargantuan.
Thank you.
Amethyst
Dark.
dragon that is sitting on a giant pile of golden jewels and cool stuff in the center of this chamber. He is like kind of sitting there, four talons kind of crossed, and he's just looking at you guys with a dragony expression on his face. I don't know.
I'm just gonna stare at him for a while with that "wow, he's beautiful" look on my face. Yeah.
So I assume proper etiquette is to like bow with respect.
Yeah.
Or yeah. So
Yeah,
like
he likes that.
I show whatever respect I can muster.
Okay.
And
Uh,
bow deeply.
In a move that surprises you, he gives you a somewhat deferential bow in return. You specifically.
Well, I mean, you are the dad of a legend.
But he says, well met, brave heroes. Enter, be not afraid.
Can I just hug him?
No.
She goes up. He just goes.
But just imagine like she's walking up there. No,
He does no touchies.
okay.
Okay.
Coronavirus.
touchy.
To keep your distance.
That's right.
Bye.
He wants you to maintain
6 feet.
at least more than that. But yeah.
I enter behind him.
It's all cool in here.
Um,
When I say that, I mean it's literally very cool in this chamber somehow. It's like gotta
Air
be
conditioned.
He probably
massive,
is.
like a 30-degree temperature difference from what it was outside.
Awesome.
Contra reaches for the box that we have the globe of Arden in, and he sets it up toward Glathtroncher, and he kneels and says, Glathtroncher, we have brought you the globe of Arden as Io has decreed.
You have done well, adventurers. Especially in resisting, he kind of reaches out his massive talons and grabs the little box. The lure of utilizing the power of an artifact that is so strong as this. And he grabs it, and he picks it up, and he's like kind of examining it. Then he flicks it in the air, and it actually shoots up by his head and begins floating around his head like an Ioun stone would.
Whoa.
He says, with the empowerment of the artifact, I will be able to now cast the spell that will bring Kaiser back from the Elysian fields.
Do it.
What is the Elysian Fields?
Just, one of the higher planes. Is,
Well, Elysium is a place of paradise.
Oh, nice. Yeah. No more vacation.
Yeah, that's right. Vacation's over. He says, however, it will also require another sacrifice for the spell to be certain to work.
Contra immediately steps forth.
Contra. Are you prepared to give up this mortal coil, that Kaiser may walk yet again in the land of the living?
I am. He is the continuation of my line.
And more.
Can't we just give up on Robbie instead?
I'm dead already.
You're all out of Robbie.
I'm dead already.
We can bring him back and then sacrifice him.
Actually, that does remind him, he says, on the matter of resurrection, I believe you did have another party member who merely needed to be brought back across the veil, and you have the body.
I do. I reveal Robbie's dead face.
Just his face.
He indicates to put it on the floor.
His dead Robbie. There.
He just eats it in one bite.
He leans a finger and then resurrects it with a finger.
It's like, oh, Jason.
Look what I can do.
That would be awful. No, I'm not going to have him do that. No, he does just cast resurrection on him, and your spirit shoots back into your body. Lightning
Now we have a sacrifice.
crashes in
So
from outside.
Solved.
You can see like the lightning come down from the skies and arc through the chamber and just like, and you can see that his spirit is returned. Friedrich lives once more.
I stand up. Ha ha!
You stand right in front of the biggest dragon you've ever seen.
So
That's awesome.
Ah.
I guess as this is happening, Six is gonna start walking up to the front towards Contra.
Okay.
Freed.
All right. I will begin the preparations of the casting of the spell. This will take some time. If you require to speak with your compatriots before it is time. And he starts he kind of gets out like a bunch of little chalks and things, and he starts making this circle on the ground and putting runes in it and stuff. He's gonna be working on that for about 10 minutes if you guys want to get in any RP or anything else here.
I'll tell Contra that we really are gonna miss him. That we appreciate what he's doing and bringing Kaiser back. That it's
Right.
been good getting to know him and adventure with him.
Is this the only way?
Who are you asking?
Contra. He's the one who saw the vision.
I assume this is the way it's supposed to be. I don't know if it's the only way. But I'm certain this dragon is carrying out the will of Io. And that is what should be done. It seems only right. All my life I have crossed paths with my son, but never stopped and gotten to talk to him. But I would rather him be on this plane where he's meant to be I suppose I would get a chance to talk to him once his time is up for good.
Do you really think this is what your son wants, though?
I'm not certain. It's been so long since I've talked to him. He was a child the last time I saw him. But this is probably for his best, whether he wants it or not. Before he didn't accept being resurrected, but I know this is right.
We could still use Robbie. Or Friedrich.
What? For what?
Calm down,
Nothing.
Friedrich. I won't let them sacrifice you for my sake.
I
That
elbow
means I get to
6.
sleep easier.
I'm like, go say something.
6, kind of with his head down mostly, walks up to Contra and not really knowing what to say, not having all these emotions. 6 just reaches up and hugs him.
Contra hugs you back, and he grabs you by the shoulder and goes to shake your hand. And he leaves a ring in your hand. And then he winks at you.
I say in parting, I say, I have not known a mortal father in this world, but if I had found him, he would be you. And I will, give you an actual hug.
Contra hugs you back and just says he's proud of you. Cheers. Soak into his big old beard.
Alright, just RP that out, Logan, for the show.
Okay. So after that happens, 6 takes a couple steps back. And as he's looking down at the ring in his head, he asks the dragon, "What if I give up my ancient art that I have been given?"
It is hard for me to explain this in a way that mortals will understand, but the sacrifice that I speak of must be Contra's. It cannot be substituted, and you will see why when the spell is complete.
So at this time, when that is told to 6, then he not making any sounds, just begins to let the tears slowly fall down his face, trying to not let people see.
All right. Anybody else got anything?
I start to play a sad tune on my lute.
Nice.
Sad but comforting.
All right. I hope Zach can find something appropriate.
Nothing.
Nirvana.
Yeah.
Through the fire and the flames.
No, totally sad and comforting flute playing.
As
But,
as the sad music comes in, I'm like turned away from Contra, and I'll it just hits me, and it's just like 1 2.
All right. Okay, he has made a massive circle of runes, and there's like some little like braziers around, and he says, "If you are prepared, step into this room."
I am. This is the end of my journey and beginning renewal of my sentence. Step.
This is the end of but a small part of your story, my friend. It is time for you to go home. And with that, he begins casting and talking in, spellcasting language. And before you guys see kind of from the edges of the circle on the ground, this tube forms, and it seems to go straight up through the roof somewhere else. And inside the circle, Contra actually starts to morph and change, and his size begins to swell outward until he's nearly as big as Glass Chanter. And that's when it's almost like his skin bursts off of him, and you see his true draconic form come out from within. With brilliant scales of platinum, he just like sheds and sloughs off his mortal coil and begins to just like levitate straight up and through the ceiling. And looking up, you can see into another plane of existence. And there is what appears to be a palace made entirely of a dragon's treasure hoard, where the windows themselves are made of gemstones. And as you're looking into this like intraplanar tunnel, you see another form coming down, and there's a brief junction where the large draconic form meets the smaller humanoid one, and there's just a pause. And they interact with each other in some way. And then they begin to move again in their same motions. And as Contra ascends into Celestia, which I don't know why I said Elysium before, that's the right plane, Contra is returned to this mortal coil. And you can tell that it's him, but he also has changed forms. And he has taken on the true draconic traits of his father. He now appears before you as a half-platinum dragon.
Whoa.
And scene! But yeah, so then the thing this like barrier, the tube thing, just kind of shimmers away. And Contra is there.
Kaiser.
Contra is not there anymore. Never again. And then Glass Chanter's like, wait, whoa, hold on. No, something else is coming through. And he's like, woo, and the tube opens back up. And from on high, you can see something's falling. And it's like spinning down and down and down. And it looks like a super rad, sick, magical spear. And it lands poof, like right next to Kaiser.
Whoa.
It's like,
Thanks, Dad.
anytime, son. Yeah.
So Kaiser, in his giant draconi form, like flexes his muscles, and he picks up the sphere.
Can I run up and give Kaiser a hug?
I mean, I won't stop you from doing that. But
And as soon as Zalia starts running towards me, Kaiser, run towards her!
There's magical music.
And they meet to do the swirly hug thing.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Really hug thing?
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
Sure.
like I pick a character up
the
and
larger
like,
person
spin
picks up the smaller and you spin around.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
My friends!
So you get done, and I'm like, all right, my turn. And I say, where have you been?
I'm so strong that I pick Silas up as well and swing him around.
Yeah. No, where have you been?
I have been up in the plane of Celestia.
Heck yeah.
This
Can
is
I roll knowledge
amazing.
on planes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say,
All
guys,
these planes.
this is my brother, Kaiser.
2032.
What do you want to know?
Like,
You
what
see
the hell
Kaiser
just happened?
Stretching his
Because I just got brought
wings.
back. Like, I was in a dungeon being
His
killed by
new
demons, and
body.
now I'm here.
Mhm.
It's like, what the hell just happened?
All right. Well,
Where's my hammer?
We'll talk.
your
about
knowledge
that later.
of the planes won't help you at all with the hammer, but it will help you with other stuff. So what has happened is a couple things. Glass Chanter opened a physical portal between the material plane and the plane of Celestia, and in opening up this gateway, it basically appears to have, from what you can tell, removed the effect that had convinced Contra that he was not a dragon. You know that there, at times Bahamut, in his infinite wisdom, will essentially curse one of his Platinum Dragon cohorts with mortality in an attempt to teach them something. You don't know what he learned, but you think that this was the end result of that. Very few people have ever witnessed such a thing.
I'm gonna tell the dragon guy, the purple dragon guy, thank you for returning our friend.
It is as the prophecy foretold.
Well, we still appreciate it.
You are welcome.
I'd like to look up the dragon. Thanks for bringing me back.
That was incidentally part of it as well.
Mhm.
Thanks for lugging my
And
body.
that you have done so
Just
well.
holding.
I will gift you more. You there. And he points at Zilkroth, who's just kind of been like doing his way through. He's been here the whole time, BTW.
Oh, wow.
And he says, if you wish, I can grant you visions of possible futures of your party. And Zilkroth's like, I want stuff.
Of course he
Okay, I'm
does.
gonna try to convince him to do the futures. Don't ask for stuff.
Yeah, he wants. He means if anything you're giving,
He'll
I'll
take
take
anything.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
And he says, "All right, okay, come up here, and I shall allow my psionic power to merge with your own."
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
Oh, bye.
Yeah. So,
This sounds dangerous.
Zilkroth.
You're giving Zilkroth power.
I mean, I don't know if he's actually giving him power because he might just go.
I think it's more like hooking him up to a car battery. Like,
Oh, really? Large car.
as you guys are
A
dragon
hypothesized
hypothesizing,
car battery.
Gladchanter says that he has worked long and hard to refine both his mental and his clerical disciplines. And this power that he has devised allows you to look into possible outcomes of actions. Like every step you take, you could consider there to be a forking branch. And, you could go this way, that way, and that person that goes that way could make all these other choices.
So you're giving him the ability to Doctor Strange?
He doesn't know what that means.
Dormammu.
He says that this ability is not without risk, however, as it is possible for your mind to become preoccupied with multiple versions of reality at the same time. So it's important to know when to stop. Zilkroth's like, yeah. Words. Powers!
That is fair. He would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would.
100%.
All right. The dragon reaches out a talon and lightly rests it on Zilkroth's head. And with that, Zilkroth kind of just starts staring at some middle distance
Like he
that only
does.
he can see, which he does all the time. But normally his eyes don't have purple radiance shooting out of them. And he begins to describe a scene that he sees in a future. The dry hilltops dance with fire throughout the heart of the wild badlands that the humans call worm smokes. Great bonfires are kindled atop the ridges overlooking Elser Vale. Thousands of warriors have gathered. Hobgoblins in armor dyed scarlet. Thick-thewed bugbear berserkers. Goblin warg riders. Skirmishers, archers, and scaled ones as well. These often tower over the rest. For so long, they have fought each other, tribe against tribe, race against race, engaged in endless tests of battle, feud, betrayal. But on this night, they stand together, hated enemies shoulder to shoulder, shouting together as brothers. They see that they are strong. And together they dance and sing and shake their blades at the smoke-hidden stars above. We are the Kolkozul, they shout. The hills shake with the thunder of these voices. We are the people of the dragon. Uyguth Nahargai, none shall stand before us. One by one, the tribes fall silent, armor creaking as thousand turn to look up to the place of speaking. There, a single champion emerges from the assembly and slowly climbs the ancient stone stairs cut into the sides of the hill. 100 bright yellow banners stand before him like a phalanx of spears. Each is marked with a great red hand. The war priests hold the banners and chant their battle prayers in low voices as the champion ascends. On the 100th step, he stops and turns to face the waiting warriors. He is tall. He is strong. One of the hobgoblin chieftains. But scales gleam upon his shoulders, and horns jut from his head. I am Azar Kul, son of the dragon, he cries. Hear me, warriors of the Kolkozul. Tomorrow we march to war. The warriors roar their approval, stomping their feet, clashing spears to shield. Azar Kul waits, holding his hands aloft until they quiet again. The war priests of the Doom Hand have shown us the way. They have taught us honor, discipline, obedience, and strength. No more will we waste our blood fighting with each other. We shall take the lands of the elf, the dwarf, and the human, and make them ours. Under the banner of the Red Hand of Doom, we march to victory and conquest. Remember that you stood here this night, warriors of Kolkozul. For 100 generations, your sons and your sons' sons shall sing of the blood spilled by your swords and the glory you win in these nights to come. Now, my brothers, to war! And the burning hills are far too small to hold back the shouts that the Kolkozul give in answer to the warlord's call.
I'm scared.
All right, yeah, that just is like channeled through Zilkroth.
Whoa.
And he's like, wow, that's amazing. Ha, I want to see more stuff. And
Does he tell us about this at all?
that's like channeled through
Yeah,
him.
he's
Oh, like
saying
he's
that.
a video
He's saying
projector,
that.
basically? Okay.
And like,
It's an audio projector?
can see, yeah. And he's like, it's like he's looking in a different direction. And he's like, I see it. I see the Godhead rising. And you can see the Glass Chandra like takes his hand off of him, but the effect doesn't seem to stop.
Oh no.
He's like, Kaiser, no! Don't kiss the Fairy Queen of Wind and Woe! No!
I tried to stab at the Fairy Queen. Back, demon.
But why would everyone turn into salamanders? I don't get it!
Kaiser drops to the ground.
How would you even fit that in there? Azathoth churns forever in the center of the universe!
Uh-oh, he went too far.
Oh,
His brain's about to explode.
I try to snap him out of it.
Alright,
Kaiser realizes he's not a salamander.
roll for damage.
Roll for damage. 1d3. Rolled a 1 plus 3 from strength.
Okay. He doesn't seem to snap out of it.
Oh god.
And Glass Chantra's like, oh, I was worried about this.
Ah, damn it. Now we gotta kill him.
He went too far.
Well,
Water. Does anyone got water?
I
oh,
have
my
everlasting
crate
mug.
to get, wait.
I
crate
splashed like
water all over
everlasting, my everlasting mug on him. Whatever.
Okay, See if that snaps or not. Hey, that does. And he kind of like, it's like the effect stops and he sees you and he's like, we're not. And it's too much. And he passes out.
Yeah, too much.
Kaiser runs to his
That
friend,
was
the
an
guy,
intense stroke.
and he says, "No, I just got back. No." I look for a way to heal him.
All right. Glasshaunter says that he knows exactly what's happened to him. And he was worried that it would happen, but he also knew that Zilcroft could handle it, if that makes any sense. But there was a chance of this. He's been afflicted by what he calls mind fragmentation.
You broke our friend's mind?
A little bit. He says that for the foreseeable future, he will be perceiving multiple versions of reality at once. And it means that his psionic powers will not always be reliable until he can choose a reality that he considers to be home.
Kaiser stands up with fear in his eyes and says, "Glasshaunter, you don't mean there's a reality where I'm a salamander?"
Look what you did.
No.
He says that it is conceivable that there is a reality in which a group of adventurers might accidentally all become salamanders through some horrible mishap.
Well, that sounds terrible.
He says that only an idiot would allow such a thing to befall them. He thinks you're all right. But as for Zilcroft, this condition is a matter of personal conviction. He's going to have to come to the realization on his own that this is his reality. He doesn't know how long that will take.
Is that what Glasshaunter said?
Sounds like you.
I say, "Zilcroft, the salamanders aren't real!"
He is totally unconscious.
Just screaming into
Can I
his face.
Does anyone stop me from looking through his pockets?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I want to see if he has my hammer.
Also
He
say that since you guys have brought him this priceless artifact, he is also willing to allow you to do some shopping here.
Ooh, shiny.
His hoard is massive, and he's willing to allow you guys to buy things out of it at a 20% discount from what would be considered a general market
Could
price.
I trade this?
He doesn't happen to have another folding boat, does he?
He totally has a folding boat.
Oh, do it.
I have no money.
I guess
I trade this
I guess
plus
I don't
2
have
heavy
money
wooden
either. I have
shield
no money
for
right now.
So we have a ton
Sorry.
of treasure from the last adventure, which we can split now.
Adventure time.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'm here too. I helped.
I want to buy another folding boat.
Chantra's like, it's time to go back to OrcSlayers between the pages. All right, and with that, our heroes have successfully done a lot. We have unveiled exposition into the next campaign. We have brought heroes long dead back to life and shortly dead. What will they do with these treasures? Where will they go? Find out next time on OrcSlayers!
Cool. Hey Jake, do you see a black binder behind you somewhere with my character sheet in it?
Uh-oh.
So I think I
Oh.
set up the universe, but didn't grab my character sheet binder.
Well,
Not like that.
so you're not in the normal thing?
I don't think so.
I'll double check.
Everyone is like, this is my chance to escape.
Okay.
There's a window.
It's very true though. If you wanted to leave, that was your chance. This guy, he can't even keep his character sheet straight.
He can't
I mean,
read us.
that was literally one responsibility too many.
Yeah.
That's it. You're being replaced by Zion.
Dear Lord.
Oh God,
The
no.
show is
It's just-
canceled.
It's just It's just that meme
Oh,
with
wait,
Patrick with the board nailed to his forehead. That's the show. Welcome to the show.
I sure hope that these were all meant to go in Deck and Science. They are.